No. Hey everyone, so welcome to the channel. My name is PJ and I am a visual development artist. In this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through my process of designing some characters for this past month's Mermay. So every May, for some reason, I don't know why actually, but for some reason people on Instagram draw mermaids and I really wanted to do it this year, so let's just get right into it. So going into these character designs, I knew that I wanted to do something for Mermay, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. Uh, everyone does half woman, half fish mermaids, and I was like, what if it was all fish mermaid? I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully you guys will see what I'm going for, as this moves along. But so this is the first character. Her name is Pinky, and she is based off of a blobfish. Blobfish are deep sea dwelling creatures. When they're pulled out of the water, they kind of just melt. I'll put up a picture somewhere so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but they kind of have this sickly cuteness to them, and I thought that would work really well for character design. A lot of the stuff that I end up making is super bright and fun, and I knew that I wanted to carry that into this design and into all of the designs, as you will see. So I decided to make Pinky pink, hence the name. And by making her all pink, I realized that I actually wanted to kind of make this as a series for a countdown to Pride Month, because obviously Mermay is in May, and then Pride Month is in June, so each of these designs represents a different color on the Pride flag. I think there are 9 in total, being the full Roy G. Biv, so red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. Obviously pink, which I added, because that was part of the older Pride flag. It's not so much included anymore, it's more included in the trans Pride flag. But I also do have one final, I think it's the 9th character that represents the blue and pink colors on the trans Pride flag as well. As you guys can see with my process, I kind of just started obviously with the sketching, getting that to a place where I was happy with it, and then I started putting in some flat colors just to see if I liked it. I ended up liking it, and then I went in with I made that smaller so that I could reference the exact colors that I did for the thumbnail, and then really went in layer by layer, throwing in the flat colors, and now I'm already on to shading and highlights, so I skipped over all that, but hopefully you get the gist. This isn't a tutorial, this is kind of just my process. If it helps anyone though, awesome. I make all of these characters in Procreate, so that's why I was able to get this awesome footage. Okay, cool, so we're on to the next one. So, knowing now that I wanted to do oh my god, wow, I did so many different versions. It's kind of fun to look back at my process and see exactly where I was going with it. I knew that I wanted it to be a crab. A lot of these end up being super silly, and that is, it kind of really just dove into how I draw naturally, so a lot of these characters ended up being very silly, very fun, and I'm really happy with all of them. But as you can see, I wanted it to be a crab at first, and she kind of evolved into a lobster mermaid. And what that means, I don't know. Maybe she's just a lobster who's dressed up as a mermaid. Maybe she is a half lobster, half I don't know, other fish. It doesn't really matter, the technicalities. All I know is that this is my favorite of... Actually, the one that I did for Indigo is also pretty great, but her name's Big Red, and she has a big place in my heart. I really like this character design. I want to say this got the most likes on my Instagram too, so I think people tended to like her as well. It's just so silly, it's so fun to really just exaggerate these shapes and come up with something that's completely unique and fun. It also feels authentically my style. I don't like to take my art too seriously. I mean, obviously, that's not fair. I do take my art very seriously, but I don't think it's fair to get overwhelmed with like, art has to be this one thing, character design has to be this one thing. And it totally doesn't. I think that's crazy. You know, I studied animation for so long, and I tend to find, I mean, it's changing now, but a lot of these characters end up looking exactly the same, and I think that's crazy. We can create whatever we want, so why not play with it? Why not have fun? So now we are on to Orange, and I wanted it to be a clownfish-inspired mermaid. So her name is Cleo, and she is a little, I'd say she's maybe more on the prissy side. She is more expensive than Big Red and Pinky, we'll say. She likes to shop, she's very glamorous, she is very girly. I think I forgot to do, yeah, I forgot to do, or maybe that's what I'm doing right now. No, this, I think this is the final color. Ugh. It's so weird to rewatch this and watch my process because she doesn't end up looking like this. Okay, now this was just me throwing down flat color. Oh, I forgot I threw that other eye on there. Okay, so that was just my thumbnail. I didn't like it. So I had to go back and keep doing it. I think overall, Cleo, so this one for Orange, and then the yellow piece, I got a little too in my head, and they feel a little bit over-designed, but that doesn't mean I don't like them still. I was so happy with the way that Big Red came out that I was like, let's just keep pushing it. And sometimes when you push it to the point of like, or you can get to the point of like, is this too much? And I don't think that this character is too much, but she's close. You know, if I had done a little bit more, it would have been too much, but you know, just because you have the stripes, and if you guys remember, I played with putting like polka dots on her tail, and that just would have looked terrible. I'm really glad I didn't do that. One of my favorite things about this character, or one of the original inspirations at least, was that I kind of wanted to give her like clown makeup because she's clownfish, and a lot of that got edited away because of, like I was saying, I didn't want it to be over-designed, but I ended up throwing in that like little heart and like hint of lipstick pattern on her lips that I think is effective. It's my favorite part of the whole piece. Now we are about to move on to yellow, and so this one is based off of a Dumbo octopus. I had put a poll on my Instagram asking everyone what they wanted my yellow piece to be based off of, and oh my god, she looks so silly right here. I changed the proportions. If you hear that breathing, it's my dog. She just came up the stairs and she's old. Doesn't matter. What was I talking about? Okay, so it was between this and a pufferfish, and I wanted to do the pufferfish, but everyone voted for the Dumbo octopus. So this was the only time I asked people what they wanted to see. I like this character. Her name's Octavia, duh, because she's based off an octopus. I actually think she's really cute. I think if I were to redo it, which I kind of have future plans for these characters, but we don't need to get into that. I think I would just repose her. There's something about the silhouette that I'm not crazy about, but I love how chunky she is. I love her little fat face, her stupid little lips. She's definitely cute. I struggled for a while with the colors. I think yellow is a hard color to work with sometimes, just because if it's super saturated, it's very overwhelming, and if you make it any darker than a certain amount, it just becomes muddy looking, and the whole point of this series is to be like super bright and colorful and really like embody this idea of like a countdown to Pride. So I kept her pretty light, and then with complements of a almost like baby blue color and then a peachy pink, which again, if I were to go back and redo, I don't know if I'd make these same decisions, but it doesn't matter. She's cute as heck, and I think people liked her. I mean, I do like her, but if I had to choose a least favorite of all of them, it would probably be her. Yeah, you can see too, I played around with like maybe giving her a scarf or something. I just felt like this design was lacking. Ended up with the bow, and then I gave her kind of like a patterning across her eyes to make it look like she had glasses, which I think was really cute. I gave her spots. I think those stay. So real jumbo octopuses have a little bit of transparency to them, and this is the first character that I really played with that idea with. I think I do it again for a couple more, but I really liked the almost like jelly bean effect I was able to give her, like little pigtail ears. I like that a lot. That's actually something that I've been playing with a lot with my art since I did this piece, because I don't know, it just looks really cool. That's probably my favorite part of all of it. I really like that, and I really like the way I drew the like kelp-looking bow in her hair. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Is the video playing? Okay, it is. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing. Wow, this one took me a while. It's interesting. Sometimes the ones you struggle with the most take the most amount of time. Wait, that makes sense. That's not interesting. I don't. You know what I mean? I mean, some of the ones that come faster are usually the ones you like more, I guess is what I'm getting at. Which, like, that's not news. I'm not blowing anyone's mind. I think everyone knows that. So for green, I knew that I wanted to do a turtle / tortoise. So this is Myrtle, the turtle mermaid. She is super derpy. She is super cute. I gave her these cute little squid buns that are like kind of suction cupped onto her head, just to kind of break up the silhouette. I didn't want her to be like too round, and I really like the way they came out. I kind of rendered them like translucent like I did with Octavia's ears. I really like Myrtle. She's one of the more simple ones, but I really like this pose. I think she has a lot of fun personality because she looks so silly. Although, you know what, not to toot my own horn, but I think a lot of these have personality. But I'm drawn to, as you can see with these designs, silly, stupid, fun, and cute. Silly, stupid, fun, cute. Is that an acronym? No. I was trying to do something there, but it didn't work. Either way, incorporates one of my favorite colors, purple. I absolutely love purple. That is like hands down my favorite color, and it complements green really, really well. Purple and green is a great color combination. It reminds me very much so of like Hot Topic 2007, everything I wanted to be, like purple and green studded belt. That's the vibe that Myrtle gives me. If you guys see, I keep kind of pulling up Pinky behind each of these characters, and that's because I wanted to be able to match the circle behind each of them. That's like the piece of the ocean. I wanted that all to be the same size, and I also wanted them to have similar proportions so that when you look at all of these next to each other, because I do have a pattern on my Redbubble of these characters, I wanted them to all look like they exist within the same world, and I actually think I really did that. It feels cohesive. They all exist within the same world, even though they're all so different, and I'm really happy that I was able to do that because I think it's super effective. And also, just when they're all lined up next to each other, they're so cute, it's stupid. So I'm moving on to blue now. You'll notice I kept the blue very light. Blue, indigo, violet, the Biv of the Roy G kind of can all blend together, and indigo is often left out because I wanted there to be 9 pieces so that it looked good on my Instagram feed. I kept the blue very blue, kind of almost teal, and then you'll see the other colors. But so this is more of like an icy blue, and I knew that I wanted to make a manatee mermaid. So this is Mana Tiffany. She has my favorite name of all of them. And yeah, I realized I hadn't really played with giving any of them hair, so I wanted to give Mana Tiffany a ponytail. It's not hair. In my mind, it's just a wig made of kelp that she likes to wear because I thought that'd be cute, and that's what it looks like. So she has a wig made of kelp that, you know, she can take on and take off, depends on like the occasion, but in this piece she is wearing it. Overall, I want to say this character design really looks the most like the animal that they're based off of, but I wanted to keep it that way. You know, I mean, it makes sense though, because manatees are mammals and humans are mammals, so I don't know. I don't know if I have enough time to explain my thought process behind what I just said, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I made her pretty fast because this is almost looks like it's done. Yeah, huge fan of Mana Tiffany. I picture her as like she's the popular girl in school that all the other fish mermaids are jealous of, but she's actually really nice, and she has a silly voice, and I don't know, maybe her like dad owns a corporation underwater that like makes her rich, but she's like the rich nice girl. I don't know if you guys get that vibe, but you know, that's who she is. Okay, so here we are. We're at indigo, which is really more of like a deeper purple. And yeah, I forgot how much I struggled. I played with a lot of different things. I thought she was gonna be based off of a sea slug. I thought she was gonna be based off of a manta ray. And the sea slug version is what you're seeing right now. I don't hate this, but it wasn't at all what I was looking for. And what I ended up doing instead really is kind of like my favorite of all of them, along with Big Red. This is Coral, and she is based off of not really any particular breed of shark, but she is based off of a shark. She goes through many different phases. This is one of them. I kind of like that face, although I remember at the time I didn't like it. Wow, it's so crazy to remember how much all this changed. Okay, here we are. We're getting more to what she actually looks like. So I played around with a lot of different head shapes, as you guys can see, but I ended up kind of sticking with just like a triangular head facing up to show off her mouth. For a lot of these I didn't, or no, I used reference, but I didn't like strictly use it. And this one, because I was struggling so much, I was like, okay, let's pull up some reference, and I saw some pictures of shark mouths, and they just looked so funny to me when they were open that I was like, I kind of want to make that the focal point and have this shark, this like tween shark girl who like has braces and is kind of just like an awkward mess. I love the personality in Coral. She has great eyes, great teeth. I rounded out her teeth because the sharpness felt a little too severe, you know, to match the rest of the characters. A lot of these characters are softer, and to create a shark, I wanted to keep it still friendly. and stick to that kind of cutesy vibe. None of the other characters have very sharp angles, and I think it's effective, and I also think it makes her look less threatening. Gave her little sand dollar bikinis. Not that they're covering anything, but just for decor, you know. She wanted to feel pretty that day, and you'll see too that I add a bow later on, just to you know, push it a little more. Adding highlights here, adding some scales, throwing in those little fish that are present in all of them. And yeah, so I added a bow to her hair, and I added a bow to her where her like midsection meets her tail. And then the best part is her braces. That was my mom's idea. Very proud of that detail. So now we are on to the true purple, which is really more of like a purpley pink kind of color, and I knew pretty early on that I wanted purple to be a jellyfish. So I looked at a bunch of different jellyfish pictures, knew that I really wanted to include that kind of transparent aspect that was present in a couple of the other ones. So my idea here was to kind of have a headpiece that was made of like, I don't know, the jelly part, and then that was kind of protecting the rest of this character's body. This is Jiggle. I want to say she's a lot of people's favorites. She, in my mind, is, you know, has a heart of gold, but if you get too close to her, she will sting you. Because she's jellyfish, so she's toxic, and she is really bad at texting back, but it's okay because like she's your best friend and she'll always have your back. So the little tendrils that are kind of the stingers that are coming off from behind their eyes and also behind her body, that's kind of like a signature of mine. I really like that shape. Whenever I'm like drawing a plant or leaves, I kind of go to this like almost heart shape. It's fun to see it utilized in a character design because normally I use it for environments. And that's not just because I don't feel like drawing trees, but it's mostly because I don't feel like drawing trees. I think the transparency effect is really effective here. I erased part of the flat color and turned that into a screen layer and then added highlights throughout, and I don't know, it totally gives off the vibe that I was looking for, so I'm really proud of this one. Okay, now we are on to the last one. So as I said earlier, I knew that I wanted to have some trans representation in this Pride Countdown, but I didn't want to just make one that was completely just pink and blue, because then I don't think the message would have come across as strongly, because the other ones are all such like flat colors. So I knew I wanted it to be a sea urchin. I decided to give this character heterochromia, so that I could have a blue eye and a pink eye. And so they have blue and pink throughout their entire body, and blue spots and white spots and pink spots. And then also their tail is, I want to say blue, white, and pink. I think that's how it ends up. But so yeah, this is Colby. I don't know why, of all of the other characters, their name kind of came to me quickly. But, and that's true for Colby too, but the rest of the characters' names like make sense for what they are. Colby is just Colby. I liked the name. It felt accurate to this character. But yeah, you'll see I played with like a pastel yellow. I thought it maybe needed another color, but then once I started throwing in the white, I realized that that was better. The yellow didn't really fit in. Putting in the background, throwing in some highlights. Black is a weird color to work with, because if you go too dark too soon, you can't really, it'll look too ashy, it'll come off too, I don't know. The rest of the mermaids feel so, I don't know, wet looking, and I achieve that here too, but my point is that black can be tricky sometimes. Never go for just like the darkest deep bottom left corner of the color picker black, because it will always end up not looking totally right. Adding in the final details, I added some more spikes. And yeah. Oh god, and I forgot I also gave them a shell bra. Great touch. So that is the end of the video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed. This was really fun to look back at. I had so much fun creating these characters. If you could tell me who your favorite is in the comments, that would be awesome. I will also link below. I have, like I said, I have a pattern of these guys on my Redbubble, and then also individual prints and stickers for each of them on my Redbubble too. So if you have a favorite, please go check it out. If you want all of them, go for it. That would be awesome. But this was the first time I really participated in Mermay, and I had so much fun. So big fan of Mermay. We'll definitely be doing it next year, probably with a new theme, so that's exciting. I'm working on a new series for June that is like a full Pride series, so you guys can hopefully look forward to that. I do want to make a video for it. And on top of that, I plan on making a lot more videos. I really want to get back into doing YouTube. I've had this channel for years, and it used to be something totally different, and I'm switching it over to my art now because, you know, it's what my life is. So hopefully stick around, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.